So let's talk about the coronavirus, because I know my phone has been blowing up, maybe like yours has been as well. And so I wanted to go over the coronavirus and what my thoughts are, because everybody is calling me and asking me what my opinion is and what my thoughts are. And you know, I think that, you know, in terms of the coronavirus, and then I'm going to get into some like other things that I think could be very useful for you today, or things that you can help other people with. But what I really want to do is talk to you guys about this coronavirus. And so, you know, the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is just start focusing on the good stuff, right? So let's talk about, because I know the media right now is, you know, they're talking about a lot of the negative stuff, but they're not really talking about any of the good stuff that's actually happening right now. So you can do me a favor and get me my clicker too. So, so right now, just to give you an idea, just to read this verbatim, so I don't take it out of context, it says that China has now closed down its last coronavirus hospital because there are not enough new cases to support them. So already in China, which is really the first country, and many believe that China was the epicenter of the outbreak of this coronavirus, that they're actually now closing down their first hospital. So that should give you an idea that that's a good thing, right? Because now we know that the coronavirus, awesome. So that the coronavirus, you know, this is not a doomsday apocalypse where the world is coming to an end. And so I've had some people say to me that they say that, you know, this is the apocalypse, John. The world is coming to an end, and the world is not coming to an end, okay? I mean, I just want you guys to understand that. We're going to go over some statistics here in a moment, okay? Doctors in India have been successful in treating the COVID-19 or the coronavirus, which is also another good sign, right? So we're making some positive, you know, we're going down the right, you know, the right track, the right road, okay? You know, we know based on some of these statistics that if you actually go to the CDC and look at what CDC is saying, don't go anywhere else. Everything else you see is all fake news. You got to be careful about what you're posting and what you're reading and what you're reposting on Facebook and Instagram. But go to the CDC and you'll see what the CDC is saying. That a 100-year-old Chinese grandmother has made full recovery from the coronavirus after being treated for 6 days in Wuhan, China, which is also great news, right? So, you know, I had one young lady who called and said that her grandma has the coronavirus and she thinks she's going to die and there's no hope for her and blah, blah, blah. It just went on and on and on. And I said, look, there is hope for her. You just got to remain optimistic. And, you know, all the scientists and biotech companies are working very efficiently right now to find a vaccine or a cure for this particular virus. And so I want you to know that it's not just because somebody is over the age of 70 who gets coronavirus doesn't mean that they're all going to die. Okay. I mean, you know, some will and some won't, but it all just depends on their immune system and their ability to fight off the virus. All 7 patients who are getting treated in New Delhi have recovered, which is another good sign. Okay. Let's continue this. Scientists in Israel are likely to announce the development of a corona vaccine, and they say that by, you know, May or by April or May, that they'll have plenty of this vaccine, and they've already done some test studies, and they've also done some. They've already administered this to a few people already to show that it is working. In addition to that, the plasma or the antigen from newly recovered patients who actually had the coronavirus they're using their antigens and plasma to use to treat others who have had the actual coronavirus, which is another great news. And then the Cleveland Clinic developed the coronavirus test that also gives results within hours, not days. Okay, so a lot of people are talking about how there's not enough testing or the testing is not available. Well, Cleveland Clinic just developed the test that actually gives results within hours. So that's also another positive thing. Research at this medical center claimed to have found an antibody against coronavirus. So the point is, it's like, you know, all these scientists and people around the world, all these smart people are actually doing what they're supposed to do, and they're doing an amazing job. There's tremendous hope what's happening in South Korea. The number of new cases in South Korea is actually now declining, which is also another great sign, because we originally, when we heard about the coronavirus, we heard it started in Wuhan, China, and then the next big country was actually South Korea. But now the good news is even South Korea's new cases are actually declining. And then, of course, Italy was, you know, everybody's talking about Italy and how they've been hit the hardest. And that is true. They have been hit the hardest, but they also have the oldest population in Europe. But even that, even in Italy, and I know you're watching the news and CNN and all that kind of stuff, and they're still saying that this is going to be going on forever, and this is, you know, it's like the apocalypse. But I just want you guys to know it's not the apocalypse, as I said to you earlier. Okay, 3 Maryland coronavirus patients have fully recovered and can return to everyday life. By the way, just so you know, Tom Hanks and his wife. Also great news, they have now recovered and been released from the hospital, and so that's also great news. A network of the Canadian scientists are making excellent progress as well. So you can see this is a global thing, and it's like the first time where the whole world is coming together and looking for a solution to what is going on. So now let me give you some other studies here in China, corona updates, right? A lot of people say, John, this is all nonsense. It's BS. I can't even believe you're saying this to people. But again, listen, I'm a guy that has to do his own research, right? I'm not going to go and listen to all these people that, that tell me stuff that's happening, and all these news media that always, not sometimes, always embellish news, okay? Now, I'm not trying to take this lightly. This is a serious thing, but look, I mean, here's proof in the pudding right here. In China alone, this is statistics coming out from the CDC, okay, where the number of deaths, new cases, actually, not deaths, the new cases has gone down tremendously, even in China. These are the number of infected people day by day by day. You can see the progress. And you can see where this number, I'm going to just, I'm going to do some, I guess I can't, here we go. So you can see right here, this is where like the peak was, and then of course you can see that number going down. And so this is great. I mean, look, it's not like, all this stuff is just going to disappear like right away, but hey, this is wonderful progress, which, by the way, no one in the news is talking about this kind of stuff. So you got to be careful about what you want to put into your mind and what you're thinking about on a daily basis. Let's talk about the newly infected versus the newly recovered. So if you look down here, you can see the numbers that went up, and look at the number drastically going down here as well. These are the newly infected, and then, of course, the newly recovered. Tremendous. Wonderful. If you take a look at this down here, hang on one second, guys. I'm trying to figure out something. Okay, whoops. So you can see this number also continuing to decline. This is all numbers in China right now, which is pretty amazing. This is just the outcome of the cases here. The cumulative deaths, total deaths and recoveries over cumulative number of closed cases. So you can see we're doing great here in China. Now let's look at South Korea. This is actual numbers in South Korea. You can see, again here, the peak up in this area, and then you can see it kind of went down, it went back up, and went down, went back up, and of course, numbers are starting to decline here. And all this is just great for us here in the United States, because if Korea and China are able to see these cases decline day by day by day, we have hope, right? These are the active cases right now, so you can see it's starting to plateau in South Korea. They've got this under control. I promise you, you're going to probably see this number continuing to decline here over the next couple of weeks. Again, here's the same thing, the newly affected versus the number of recovered and discharged patients every day. So this is also a great sign in South Korea. Again, here, this is still South Korea. This is the number, cumulative total deaths and recoveries over cumulative number of closed cases. So you can see this decline, which is also a wonderful sign, okay? So this is just my logical, research that I've been doing just to make sure, because, I mean, obviously I'm not a physician, I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you this right now, I do have doctors, and I know doctors, and I've talked to them on the phone. I've talked to different virus doctors, and they're all telling me the same thing, that it is bad and is very contagious, but it's not to the extent of the way the media is actually portraying it. Just so you know. Now, do people who know someone who has been affected and have been infected by the virus, could their life be, totally upside down right now? Well, there's no question about it. They're experiencing this totally different. Let me give you an example. Just a few months ago, where I live here in Calabasas, we were under siege by brush fires, okay? I mean, literally, we were packing our bags. The sky was black. You can smell the smoke everywhere. The ashes were on our cars. We thought it was doomsday. We were all wearing our masks. We were running to our cars. We were packing all our stuff into our cars, and we're ready to literally what I call bug out or get out of town. And I had no idea that on the other side, in another city or county right here in California, that they had blue skies, what they were living, right? They were not experiencing what we were experiencing when we're seeing flames above our house, right, in our own neighborhood. So most people were not able to relate to what we were going through, and so I get that, right? And so I was telling everybody, oh yeah, the fire was bad. They understood, they were being sympathetic or empathetic, but they really didn't know what it was like to be running to your car, getting your kids there, telling them to go to grandparents or wherever they need to get to, the auntie's house or whatever. But I'll tell you what, for me, it felt like the end of the world. So I understand when someone is experiencing coronavirus. And I've seen some of the videos on Facebook and some people that are posting in Italy and what they're going through. And don't get me wrong, it is bad. But, what should we be doing to help control or to contribute to the spread of this? And I just want you guys to know that one of the things we can all do is help prevent the spread of fake news, right? So more and more every single day, people are, posting stuff, fake news, and it's just unbelievable, right? Number two is remain calm. I know that people have been going to the grocery stores. They've been buying water at Costco, Smart and Final, Sam's Club, and it's out of control. And I get it. And so here's the thing. I understand, like, one thing I don't understand is why people are buying so much water, because you realize that your faucets still work. You can buy a Brita, right, on Amazon. It'll be sent to you the next day or two, and you can use Brita to filter out all the toxic stuff out of your water, out of your faucet, okay? I mean, worst comes to worst, you can still drink it. It ain't gonna kill you, temporarily. But what blew my mind is I actually had to go down to witness all this stuff at a shopping center. So I went to a Ross grocery store. I walked down the aisle, and it's been a while since I've actually walked into a grocery store, and I didn't realize that a whole aisle was just full, like empty, right, which is where the water was at. Now, what was interesting is on the other side, like the same aisle, but on the other side of the shelf, right? So on the right side was where all the water was, but on the left side is where it was just an abundance of coconut water, right? Gatorade, stuff with, Pedialyte, right? Electrolytes, things that will, that will get, if you were really sick and had the flu or cold, you really should be not just drinking water, but something to get your electrolytes going. But what blew me away is you could be drinking coconut water, but nobody wanted to buy coconut water, right? And so, it's interesting. I'm not understanding the water thing, but hey, if you feel good about buying water, I'm not knocking you down for that. I'm not trying to, to be condescending, but again, I think it's the panic of, oh my God, it's a world, it's the world coming to an end, so we better get some water supply. And I don't see it going that extreme, just so you guys know. So just remain calm. I mean, I've seen people go to the grocery stores and they're buying like just about anything and everything they can throw into their carts. The grocery stores are still open, right? I mean, food's coming in. And so I tell people, stay home and self-quarantine, get some food, but get some food that's enough for you and your family, right? I mean, don't like go and take stuff that you're not even going to use for 5 months, right? I mean, take enough so that other people can actually get some food for themselves as well. What else can you do? But just so you guys know, I have been, my staff and I, believe it or not, and what's crazy is my whole staff is actually staying at my house right now. I said, look, if you guys leave, you guys aren't coming back, right? I mean, we're quarantining ourselves, and so they opted. I said, you go home and work out of your home, or you can stay in my house, and they opted to stay here, which is pretty cool. So I was talking to Raul and Rose and Anna and everyone and John Matalora, and they were all saying that we're busier now than we are like on a normal day, because I am using Zoom and doing one-on-ones for client meetings, follow-ups, whatever I got to do. We're doing, we got our cell phones, we can be FaceTiming. So we're just as busy we are now on a normal day, and we're actually busier now ever since the outbreak. So just so you know. What else can you guys be doing, right? Here's my commercial. You can be reading How Rich Asians Think. Now you're like saying, well, I'm not Asian. Well, it's okay. You know what? Even if you're not, Sharon Lecter wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich for Women. And there's a lot of men who are reading it, right? There's a Think and Grow Rich Black choice, a Latino choice. Even if you're not Black or Latino, you should read that so you understand how they think. So what's cool now, just so you guys know, is that this is now on Amazon. The audio book is officially out. So, hey, get it on audio. You don't like to read, listen to it, or read and listen kind of at the same time and follow along. And you get it right now. I think it's like $10 on Amazon. So there's my commercial. Moving on. So from wars to natural catastrophes and outbreaks, just so you guys know, we've been through a lot, and we will rise through this as well, because we are resilient. We are resilient, okay? Keyword of the day, resilient. So we will come out of this, and this also shall pass, okay? So I want you to know that to hang in there, and if you get bored and you just need to talk to somebody, FaceTime me, man. I'd love to chat with you, in the next couple of days. Let's FaceTime and let's find out what you're doing in your business, right? You could be writing a book right now. You should be writing, putting a list of people you want to call, start working on your business plan, revising your business plan. You could be working on my wife Arlene's doing, what is it? What are those pictures things? What are those things where they do the craft stuff, where you cut pictures and all that kind of stuff? I mean, we're actually kind of having fun and doing some spring cleaning in our house right now, in the garage, right? So there's so many things you could be doing right now, okay? So here's what I want you guys to know. Benjamin Franklin says, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So everything comes with proper preparation. We talk about the 5 Ps, right? Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Let's say that one more time, right? Proper preparation prevents poor performance, the 5 Ps. So this is why it's imperative that you prepare. And even after this whole pandemic, kind of subsides, it doesn't mean to now go, okay, outbreak, everything is all back to normal, I'm going to ignore it. So you don't start thinking about preparing for quote unquote, whatever emergencies that could happen again in the future. So in fact, hopefully your experience, what you're going through now, will prepare you for the next time that some sort of an urgent or emergency, thing happens. And just so you know, this isn't going to be the last time that we're going to have some sort of an outbreak of some sort. Just so you guys know. Okay. So now, enough of that. I want to talk to you guys about indexed annuities here because, I hear people calling and they're freaking out how their money is down, 10, 15, 20%. Where should I put my money? I'm selling. I want to get out. What should I do, John? I mean, what are you doing with your assets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a product that I think that could be very, very conducive for just about everybody that's out there. And so I want to kind of give you like indexed annuities 101. So let me just tell you what's going on. So we're going to talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things here, right? These 7 things. And so let's start right here with this, right? What is it? Oh, yeah. So on the very bottom, is there a way I can get rid of this on the bottom? Task, I'm going to show the desktop, show windows side by side. Here we go. How do you do that? There we go. Yep. Hey, we just figured it out. So hopefully you can now see the annual fee down here on the bottom. So your minimum investment in something like this with a company called Athene, okay? It's called the Agility 10. Now here's what's really cool. The minimum investment is $10,000. But what's cool about this is this. When you open an account with Athene, right, and if you need help with this, just come and see me or call me or whatever, DM me or whatever, and there's a lot of other people doing this, but they're going to give you, Athene will give you a 20% sign-in bonus in day one, which is kind of cool, right? Because if you're down, let's say 10, 15, 20%, hopefully the sign-in bonus, day one, you get that money up front, all right, which is pretty cool. And then there is no accumulation guarantee. And then when you turn 65 years of age, they'll give you a 5% payout on the assets of whatever you get, which is pretty cool. Now, this next one here where it says 175%, that's actually kind of cool. Because let's just say hypothetically, let's say that you had $100,000 in this account and you earned $10,000 that year. Let's say you got 10% that year and you got $10,000. What they're actually going to do, this is like a multiplier. What they're actually going to do is they're going to take your 10,000, multiply that by 175%, so you actually get 17,500, and they add that 17,500 to your principal, which is pretty amazing, right? Oh, by the way, the cool part is the annual fee on this is 0. Okay, so pretty amazing that you can do that. Athene has another product here that I want to share with you. If I can get this thing to work. There we go. Whoops. So Athene has another product called the Ascent Pro. And this Ascent Pro, same thing, minimum investment $10,000. Again, they'll give you 20% up front. Unlike this 20% of the first one, to get the full benefit of this, you got to leave your money there for 10 years, right? With this one, you can actually get your money out after 30 days, which is pretty cool. And they're also going to give you an additional 3% bonus right now so that you would actually take your money and put it into this account called the Ascent Pro. 3% bonus. Thank you, Ro. And then after that, every single year, it's going to grow. Guaranteed, by the way, guys, guaranteed. I should probably put guaranteed right in here. Simple interest. So what that means, they're going to give you 10%, right, of the original amount. Simple interest for 10 years. So if you had 100,000, you would get $10,000 every single year for the next 10 years. And then when you pay out at age 65, it gives you a 3.95% payout. That's what it is currently today. Now here's the thing. This product is a little bit better than this one in the sense that this one's got 3.95, this one's got 5. But this one also has this 175% multiplier. This one doesn't. But remember, this one's giving you 10% guaranteed every year, and this one isn't. So this one is more market-based, this first one, and this one is more guaranteed-based. So if someone says, John, I really want something that's I like to participate in the market so I can get that 175% multiplier, then this is the better product. If someone says, no, I want guarantees, 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 then this is the better product, okay? So it's really the difference right there between those two. This one here, you'll see that the minimum investment goes to $20,000. Again, it gives you 20% up front. There, no bonus on the principal right now. There's no specials. There's no annual income guarantee. So like this one over here gave you that 10%, but this one doesn't, right? And then the payout to be announced when you actually run it and you actually apply for it, they'll tell you what that payout is. And again, they don't have the multiplier, and this one does have a fee of 1.2%, and this one's 1%. So I'm not really sure which way you want to go. So again, it's all preference, but you also have to look at this right here where it's a $20,000 balance, okay, or minimum start. The other thing too is now you got this one is a company called Nationwide. They have a product called the New Heights 9. This one has a minimum investment of $25,000. This one's got a 10% bonus. You do have to wait 1 year to keep that 10%. It's got a 0% special right now. So this one over here is the only one that has the special. And then this one is 0%. And then this one has a 7%. Now the difference between this 7% and this 10% is, remember, this one is simple interest only, simple. So they take they give you 10% of the original starting amount. So if you started with $10,000, then you get $1,000 every year. If you started with $100,000, you get $10,000 every year, right? If you had $1 million, you get can you imagine if you had $1 million in cash, put that in here like a retirement account or whatever it is, you get 10%, you get $100 grand out of this account every single year guaranteed. That's pretty sweet. Whereas this one is 7% compounding. So this is kind of cool because then you're getting, let's say you had 100,000 and you got 110,000 because you get the bonus up front. Then you get 7%, and then you get 7% on the 7% on the 7, and it just starts to what? It compounds, right? And then this one, the fee is a little bit lower than this one. It's 1.10. Okay. And then finally, the last one, just so you guys know, I'll have to move this one. How do I move this now? Oh, this one? Mm-hmm. Which one? Ah, there we go. All right. Well, can I move it to the side then? Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right. So now this one's kind of cool because this one, actually, can we move it to the top? Oh, wait. What just happened? All right. Let's see if we can move this to the top. No.
You gotta do it where there's blank space. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's cool. Hey, look at that. So we're messing with our screen, guys. All right. This last one here, Global Atlantic 150 plus. This one is a $10,000 minimum. This is 20%. This is 20%. Take out income after 30 days. So after 30 days, you get to keep this money. It's got a 10% bonus right now. So that's pretty cool. So you're getting almost 30%, right now. It's got a 7.5% simple interest for the next 5 years. It's got an income of 4.75, but it does have an annual fee of 1.05. So when you look at all these are the best 5 that are out there today. This is kind of like what was announced from Global Atlantic. This is a pretty sweet deal right here. Okay, so I would jump on this last one, or I would jump on one of these two personally. But what an awesome way! Because look, I mean, all the way across the board, you can see they're giving you some substantial bonuses up front. So why this is so incredible is for someone. This is a time for you to reach out to people and say, hey, by the way, my client, or you have a client that lost 5, 10, 15, 20%. Look at this, be able to say, listen, let's stop the hemorrhaging and let's move your money into a plan like this. Lock in your principal. By the way, your principal is guaranteed, okay? All the money that goes in here upon your death, God forbid, okay, will go to your beneficiaries, which is also pretty cool. And you're getting your 12%, so you're going to offset that loss right now. And this is why it's critical that you get into this now, because if you have your money invested somewhere else, there is the potential that you're going to lose more money Okay, I'm not saying that the market's going to continue to go down, but if it was to go down, you know, there really isn't a plan. If you lose 40% of your money, I mean, that's your fault now, right? I mean, here we are, we're telling you to take your money, move it into a plan like this, secure your principal, take your 20% and have it compound at 10% with a 10% bonus and get 7.5% simple interest for the next 5 years, or this one for the next 10 years and get a 20%. I think these are all pretty amazing plans. If you have any questions, you're certainly welcome to call me, DM me on Facebook or whatever if you don't have my number. But this information right now I think is critical for people that are invested in the stock market or they have money in retirement assets, IRAs, that right now is probably hemorrhaging and just getting clobbered by the stock market crashing. Okay? All right. Now, so let me give you an example of what this looks like, okay? So this right here, I'm just going to take this example. I think we're using this one right here. Let me give you an example. So this is your $100,000. You'll see this line going across. This is your base, okay? What it says is it's going to start off by 120%, right? So you're going to get a 20%, you're going to get 20%, so that's why you're getting $120,000. And then after that, what does it say? You're going to get a 10% simple interest for the next 10 years. So if you look at 10% of the original base, which is 100,000, they're going to add 10,000, then they're going to add another 10,000, then another 10,000, another 10,000, another 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 for the next, 10 years? So you got 1 year, 2 year, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So at the beginning of the 11th year, let me tell you what you're going to start off with. It's $220,000. By the way, that's guaranteed. It doesn't matter what the market does. Okay, it doesn't matter if the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, or whatever, the Euro, the Russell, all these indexes go to hell and it just bottoms out. Worst stock market crash in American history. Guess what? You're going to be guaranteed $220,000 at the end of 10 years. Pretty sweet deal. Okay, now by the way, I want you guys to understand that that is the minimum that you're going to have. That's your worst case scenario. Okay, that's your guaranteed. This 120, 30, 40 growing like that, that's a guaranteed rate of return. Guaranteed. What part of that do you not understand, right? Guaranteed. Pretty sweet. Now the other thing it's going to do is it's going to start off at $100,000, right? Remember this? And it's going to participate in the market. So when it participates in the market, it could go from 100, goes up, goes to 175, 160, drops down to 125, then it goes down to 115, goes back up 160, 190. You see this roller coaster? This is really what the stock market is going to do. Something like this. Again, this is just a hypothetical, right? Market goes up, market goes down, market goes up, market goes down. But let's say at the end of this 10-year period, if it ends at 300,000, guess what you get to walk away with? You get to walk away with 300 grand, right? On the other hand, let's just say that the market value was really down here at, let's say, I don't know, let's just say it was at 110. Well, guess what you're going to walk away with minimum? It'll be 220. So you have this guaranteed floor, this red line right here, that is your guaranteed floor. You'll never go below that, and you got all the upside potential, right? So it's just a different graph just to show you the power of these index annuities and how awesome they are, okay? Now, moving on, just so you know, I gotta throw in, I mean, come on, I'm the Think and Grow Rich guy, right? So I can't go on without quoting a Napoleon Hill quote where he says, in the original book written in 1937, he says, in every adversity and every failure and every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Right? And of course, we're all going through adversity right now. I mean, everybody is, right? And I pray for your health and your safety and your family and your children and your parents, and I really do. But we're all facing, as a world, we're facing this adversity. But let me just tell you something. I feel confident about our future. I really do. Let me tell you why I say that. Because look, this Wuhan coronavirus, which is here right now, you can see this market going down. By the way, this is What is that?
Oh, never mind. Okay.
You see something? Okay. So you could see if I go back in history, all the way back over here to 2001. Okay, and you can see that, hey, over here was the Nile virus, right, in 2000, right, and 2, we had the SARS virus, right, and then over here we had the avian flu, also known as the bird flu, maybe you heard of that, then the market went back up, but you see after this right here, the market, what, it went up. After SARS, the market went up, and then after this little dip here with this bird flu, the market went up, and then it went down. Okay, this was 08-9, right? 08 and 9, that's what you're experiencing here. And then 09, we had something called the swine flu, and after the swine flu, market went back up, right? And then we had something called MERS, which is a form of corona, right? So the current coronavirus right now, corona is not new. We've had coronavirus now for the last 10 years, right? But this new strain is what's new, and that's why it's so contagious, because we've never experienced anything like this. But after this virus, the market went up, and then we had Ebola, and then the market kind of did its little thing. It went up, and then it went down, and then we had the Zika, and then after Zika, the market went up. And so do you see that, look, after coronavirus, what we're experiencing right now, just so you guys know, the market will rebound, okay? It really will. In fact, let me tell you what's going on. I know that a lot of you are concerned, and this is really important. I hope you really listen in right now and tune in, because this is very important, right? So right now, the SBA, okay, the SBA, which is part of the federal government, has got a program called the Disaster Relief Loan Assistance Program, Disaster Relief Loan Assistance Program. And I'm not sure if you've been, watching or reading any of the financial stuff out there, but the federal government, okay, the federal rate is basically 0, right? Now the federal rate, just so you guys know, if you don't know what it is, it's the rate that the government is basically lending money to our banks. What interest rate are they lending money to our banks? And that rate is basically at 0%, right? I mean, there's money, there's tremendous cash flow, that money for free that is going to the banks, and the banks are wanting to give this money out. And so the SBA is also involved in this, something called the Disaster Relief Loan Assistance, okay? This is available right now as soon as we get off this call. For some of you that are like financially, you have a business, you've got employees, you have expenses, you've got rent, you've got a lease, you got all sorts of stuff. Folks, you want to jump on this Relief Loan Assistance Program and get yourself some federal funding, okay? Federal funding. So if you go in to the Disaster Assistance Program, this is the SBA, okay, the SBA. So typically, these disaster programs were really like natural disasters, right? Like Hurricane Michael, Hurricane Florence. And so when these became a federal emergency, the government steps in and try to help out. Well, I have not seen this one in a while, but I mean, I haven't seen this, but basically the federal government has announced a national emergency, which basically means that if you go to this site, and it is actually called, what is the site? It's actually called Disaster. I'll find out, and I'll give that to you guys in a second, because you guys can all go in there. But if you actually go in there, you can click this right here, and then you'll see the coronavirus. That the coronavirus is one of these programs. You can actually apply for assistance. You just click that box, and you got the coronavirus, and you got it?
Yeah, it's just SBA.
Okay, it's actually called SBA.gov
Disaster Assistance.
Okay, yeah, just SBA.gov actually. So just go to SBA.gov and you'll see this right on the front page, okay? It's the coronavirus, and when you get to that page, let me just tell you what it says. It says any economic injury, so it doesn't have to be like a natural disaster. So if you have a hurricane or a tornado that comes and just destroys your house or your business, that's one thing, but this particular disaster relief program is economic, right? So any economic injury, the key word right now is what? any. So I want you to realize that the government, the federal government, President Trump has now offered this program to any economic injury disaster loan assistance declaration issued by the SBA makes loans available to small businesses and private and nonprofit organizations, right? Do you understand how many people are sitting at home, they're at their business, trying to figure out what they're going to do because they're dipping into their own personal money to figure out how to pay for all their bills and their expenses? Folks, let me just tell you right now, every single one of you are going to feel a pinch, if not a punch in your face or a punch into your gut of what's going to happen here over the next last 30 days or the last 2 weeks and the next 30 days, right? This economic disaster assistance program is something if you don't have cash, right? And this is why I always say cash. You got to start saving money, folks. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, don't be stupid and go and start buying all these like Rolls Royces and things like that if you can't afford to buy those things cash, okay? So here's the thing. If you don't have money right now, okay, help has arrived. Help is here, and the SBA's economic injury disaster will load up to $2 million in assistance and can provide vital economic support to small businesses to help overcome the temporary loss of revenue that they are experiencing, right? These are words that are coming straight from the SBA. All right, so I got this right off the SBA site, and I just want you to know that, look at this, it says here, these loans may be used to pay, listen to this, fixed debt. So if you got any kind of debt, payroll, accounts payable, and other bills that can't be paid, rent, right, personal expenses, whatever, because of the disaster's impact, because the government is telling you as an owner and all your employees to stay home, to self-quarantine, right? All these businesses are shut down. Airlines are shut down. You know it. I mean, I don't have to preach to you guys, right? Casinos are closed down. My God, I can't believe it. Disneyland, Disney World is closed down, right? So obviously we're trying. Now, why is all this stuff coming down? Because the world's coming to an end? Folks, no. All these things are coming to, right? We're shutting everything down. Not we, like I'm part of the government or something, right? But the government and all the governors and all the state and federal are telling, they're all shutting things down. I keep on saying we. They're shutting things down because, listen, we're trying to contain the virus. Right? We're trying to let it kind of die out. But here, some of these younger people, they're not taking this seriously, right? They don't understand how serious how contagious it is, and that is the scary part, right? And so they need to understand, because studies show right now these people that are getting infected by the coronavirus are typically older people, right? 70 and above. If you actually look at every person who actually has died, you'll see that most of them are like almost 80, 90 years old. And by the way, they were in some sort of home health care. They were in some hospice care. They had respiratory issues, ventilation. They had severe heart problems, right? So these are the people. But the younger generation, you know, the young, and that's good news too, right? I mean, the younger kids, we don't want them affected. And of course, you know, the teens, the good news is they're not being affected. So if I was you, instead of you going to the grocery stores, if you're in your 40s and 50s, don't try to be a hero. Send your kids, man, have them go, because they've got a better immune system than most of us that are getting older, right? Some of us that are getting older, right? So here's the good news, right? And I lost my train of thought. What was I trying to say, you guys? I forgot. Anyway, the good news is that you could use this money, and the interest rate is only at 3.75%. And by the way, that 3.75 is fixed, okay, for small businesses, and the interest for nonprofit organizations are 2.75, okay? Now, here's the good thing. So that you can afford to pay these loans back, the loan term repayment is up to 30 years, okay? And from what I understand, the FICO scores for some of these are all the way down to 600, right? So some of you guys, excuse me, like you may say, oh man, this is great, but my FICO score is down, you know, it's like 640 or 620. I heard they're going down as low as 600 to help you out. And by the way, this is not just for business owners. Get this. This loan is now going to be available for people who are renting, if you're a renter, and it's not just for homeowners. If you're a homeowner and you're having a hard time making your mortgage payment because your employer told you to stay home and not to come to work, but therefore they're not going to pay you, and you may have a hard time paying your mortgage right now. The government doesn't want to go and see another mortgage crisis, so they're allowing you to get this loan so you can actually pay your mortgage. You got your rent. Even if you can't pay your rent, right, your landlord's going to come and evict you in the next 30, 60 days, right? So this is also available for you. Folks, this is such an amazing thing that people don't know, and I want you to know, people are like, oh my God, John, like everyone who's been calling me for the last 2-3 days are like, oh my God, we don't have any money, we can't pay for groceries, we're freaking out, no one wants to lend us money. The government will lend you money right now, okay? But you got to go. And a lot of people say, all right, John, sign me up. I don't care how much you get paid. Just so you guys know, I don't get paid to do this. Is an SBA program, and they're not paying commissions, right? They're not paying fees. This is a federal funding program, disaster assistance to help you. And I want you to know that there's many, many people who don't understand this or know that even this stuff exists. So the sooner you start applying, it's a 3-step process that you got to go onto the SBA site and do a little bit of homework there, and it's all there for you, okay? Now, in California, just so you guys know, just take a look at this and look at the primary counties, right? Alameda, Calaveras, Contra Costa, right? Never heard of that one. LA, Sacramento, San Diego, San Francisco, San Bernardino, right? San Mateo, Sonoma. All these counties listed below, Santa Clara, they're all available. Ventura, all available to jump on this program. So it's a SBA disaster loan program, okay? Hey guys, I hope this is helping you guys out. I know that there's a lot of other things you could have been doing at 8:30 at night, but I'm glad you guys joined me tonight so that you can learn some of these things. I hope I'm providing some value for you, okay? We are actually recording this entire thing. So we'll send all of you, if you received an email to jump on this, we're also going to send you a recording of this so you can actually share this with other people so that they understand there's hope, man. There's help, there's availability. It's just people just don't know where to turn to, right? So I hope I'm providing you guys some value right now. When you apply for the SBA loan, just be prepared. They're going to ask you for your, obviously, your personal information, social security number, a FEMA registration number, a deed or a lease information, insurance information, financial information, and your employee ID for your business. If you're doing a business loan for this, they're going to ask you for your EIN. So just make sure you have all those things available there for you guys, and you just put all that information in. If you need some help from me, please feel free to text me. You can email my staff. We're all here available to help you guys out. That's why we're here. I got Anna here. Anna, wants to say hello to everybody, right? I don't know if everybody can see Anna, right? So come on, where are you? Come on. This is Anna, everybody. Anna's here. She knows what she's doing. We got Raul over here. Raul. You got Raul. There you go, man. And then we got Rose over here. Rose. All right, cool. So we're all here, guys. We're here to help you guys. If you need anybody that needs money, financing to help pay for bills, expenses, put food on the table, this relief program is pretty amazing. Okay. Now, let me also give you guys some other information here that'll give you some hope. Okay. According to the Dow Jones market data, the S&P 500 posted a gain of 14.5% after the first occurrence of SARS back in 2002 and 03 based on the end of the month performance for the index in April of 03. So what I'm trying to get you guys to understand right here is that you can see the market, right? Back in 81, right, we had the HIV pandemic. We had the pneumonic plague, right? In 94, we had SARS. You had the avian flu the dengue fever, swine flu, chlorella, MERS, Ebola. We had the measles outbreak. We had Zika. You see when the market, look at the recovery of the market. It did pretty amazing when you look at this after 6 months, how the market went up, after 12 months, how the market went up. And so I just want you guys to know that, you know, it wasn't raining when Noah built the ark, meaning by Howard Huff. I love this quote, right? Meaning, like, look, we're ready. I mean, you know, you got to be ready. You got to start preparing for all these different things. And so as I conclude my call with all of you guys, I just hope that, you know, that you take some immediate action right now. I hope that you guys go to the website, you start going to the disaster relief, getting it. Hey, look, some of you guys are like, well, what if I don't get approved? Well, how are you going to know? You know, you're already being negative, right? How are you going to know that you're not going to get approved before you actually go in there and start approving, right? I mean, right now, the government is being very generous in approving these things to help businesses out. So especially if you're self-employed and you're dependent on yourself and your personal activity and you don't have money to go and get money anywhere, this is your opportunity. And I just want you guys to know that you got to jump on this while this thing is available. So I'm just going to say this one more time. If you guys can still see this slide. Look, folks, we are resilient and you are resilient. You got this, man. I mean, look, I don't know if you need to really go and buy more water and freak out about water, but you can always drink something else. Like, it's amazing that people don't want to drink orange juice, right? If you go into refrigerators at the stores, there's plenty of orange juice, man. You can go get coconut water, right? You can get almond milk. I mean, all that stuff is fluids. That's all you got to do. So don't panic. Everything is going to turn out fine. And also, just so you guys know, there's no confirmation of this. I think we're going to find out by Friday. But I hate to see you guys go and buy tickets right now. We have a convention that's coming up in Las Vegas where we booked the entire Mandalay Bay and then the MGM Grand. And I was speaking with Rich Thawley, one of the co-founders, and Rich was telling me yesterday, we spoke for about an hour and a half on the phone, and I think there might be an announcement coming down by this Friday, if not by early next week, that we're probably going to be canceling the convention this year, okay? So there'll most likely not be a convention, so do not go and buy tickets right now for the convention, because if you do, they're going to refund that money all back to you, okay? So let me say that one more time, that if you did buy a ticket, you will be getting a refund, okay? Because unfortunately, the MGM Grand is only available, the next two available dates they had was the weekend of Thanksgiving, which I doubt anybody would want to go to a convention on the weekend of Thanksgiving. And the other one is, I think, December 12th through the 15th or something like that. Now, who wants to go to a convention on the 15th, just 5-10 days, you know, before Hanukkah or, you know, or Christmas or holiday season? So the chances are we're going to be refunding the money back to you. But again, do not repeat that and make that announcement to anybody and everybody until the official word comes down from the corporate office, okay? So I just want to give you guys some of those updates. I hope you guys understood a little bit about the annuities and the benefits of this thing here. I hope you guys are going to go and get some disaster relief right now, and that's pretty much it. So listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I hope I gave you guys some value. Next week, please tune in again at 7:30. We're going to be doing another one of these calls Tuesday next week. Look forward to seeing you guys then. Until then, guys, help with the outbreak, right? I mean, let's contain this thing, and let's make sure that you guys are not going out there and being face-to-face with people until we see the numbers dramatically decreasing, and we can control all this stuff. So God bless every single one of you. Arlene and I, our whole family, our staff, our team, we're thinking about you guys every day. We're praying for you. We're praying for you. We bless you, and and have our Heavenly Father look over each and every single one of you guys, all right? Hey, listen, if you feel like you're really down, you need to talk, hey, give me a call, right? I mean, I'd love to chat with you. I don't want you to, like, feel like the end of the world is coming because, as I said earlier, it's not the end of the world. This is just a temporary setback, and we as a world will contain this and fix this, and the market will rebound, okay? So God bless you guys. Thanks for joining us today. Take care, everyone.